The ISS Vagabond was never meant to change a galaxy. It was meant to take measurements, sample some space dust, maybe make history if the stars were feeling generous. Instead, the stars felt mischievous. The ship slipped out of an experimental FTL jump with all the grace of a drunk blurting out a confession, and straight into the middle of a colossal space battle. Explosions flare across the void like angry suns. Ships the size of cities fired beams that carved scars through space itself. The Vagabond, by comparison, was a tin can with delusions of grandeur. On the bridge, Captain Lena Morales stared through the viewport, calm but visibly recalculating the meaning of first contact. A diplomat by training and an optimist by necessity, she rarely raised her voice, but her eyebrows spoke fluent concern. "Status?" she asked, voice steady. Dr. Ravi Sani, chief engineer and caffeine-based lifeform, slammed keys on his console and muttered, "We're alive." Surprisingly, shields flickered during transition, and the coffee dispensers jammed again. "That's the real tragedy," came another voice. Jax Jackson, pilot and resident wildcard, lounged in his chair like he was waiting for a movie to start. Once an outlaw under 3 different names, he'd somehow become the best pilot Earth could find. He glanced at the battle outside. "You think any of them take interns?" Maya Torres didn't respond. She stood at the viewport, wide-eyed in wonder rather than fear. The youngest on the crew and their official cultural liaison, she was either a visionary or a poor volunteer. She whispered, "This is beautiful." Morales managed a tight smile. "Let's try to survive the beauty. Options: reverse thrusters and evacuate immediately," Ravi said. "Or cry. Or," Jax added, grinning, "we introduce ourselves." Morales hesitated. Protocol demanded they attempt communication. History demanded they not die doing it. She gave the order. "Open a hail." Standard greeting. Maya straightened as though words alone could save them. Her voice carried a sincerity that did not match the chaos outside. "Greetings from the people of Earth. We come in peace." The computer auto-translated the message into 47 alien languages. Then everything went silent. The battle stopped. Morales blinked. Why did they stop firing? Jax leaned forward. Maybe they agreed with us? Ravi looked at the translation log. His eyes widened. The Variety interpretation reads, "We arrive as conquerors of peace. Kneel for negotiation." Oh no! Before Morales could reply, comms flared alive. A booming voice thundered across the bridge. "Human vessel. State your allegiance or be eradicated." Maya's optimism visibly malfunctioned. That was fast. Morales activated the link. "This is Captain Morales of Earth. We intended no threat." Threat confirmed. The voice cut in. "Your boldness is admired. Your diplomacy is suspect." Jax whispered, "I liked him already." Ravi didn't. "Our shields are dropping. I have duct tape in desperation." A new transmission arrived, this one from a sleeker vessel on the opposite side of the conflict. A refined, cold voice spoke. "We detect inefficiencies in your vessel. You are unaligned. Surrender for assimilation into the Stellari Concord." Maya frowned. "Assimilation doesn't sound peaceful." "Sounds efficient," Ravi replied. "Run," Jack suggested. "Can we?" Morales asked. "I can try," he said, and slammed the thrusters. The Vagabond shot forward, like a startled rabbit among wolves. Weapons from both factions lit up, targeting them. Ravi rerouted power to the shields, using tubing stolen from the coffee machine. Sparks crackled over the consoles. Warning alarms howled. Maya, gripping her seat, tried again. "We're just explorers. We don't want to fight." The Variety responder growled, "Then die honorably." The Stellari responded simultaneously. "Then surrender quietly." Morales muttered, "Everyone's a critic." Jack spun the ship into a wild maneuver that defied structural integrity and common sense. G-forces slammed them back. The shields flickered. Ravi yelled in triumph. "The coffee line is stabilizing power flow. Caffeine saves lives." An enemy missile streaked toward them until it abruptly detonated mid-space, missing the Vagabond entirely. Another voice interrupted comms, lower and more composed. Human vessel. Cease flight. I am Admiral Tyrak of the Varadi Dominion. Your chaotic maneuvers interest me. Jack smirked. Finally, someone with taste. Quiet, Morales hissed, then responded diplomatically. Admiral Tyrak, our arrival was accidental. We seek peaceful relations. Tyrak's voice rumbled. Your actions claim otherwise. You challenge 2 fleets alone. That is war or genius. Maya mouthed, say genius. Morales chose her next words carefully. Sometimes survival requires creativity. A pause, long enough to make breathing optional. Then, perhaps, we will observe your tactics further. Do not disappoint us, human captain. The transmission ended. The Varadi ships gradually withdrew their fire. Morales breathed. Status. Ravi sighed with relief. Shields holding. Systems stable. Coffee machine deceased. You'll be avenged, Jack said solemnly. But the Cellari, Maya said, nervously pointing. The refined alien voice returned, colder than before. Varadi interest grants temporary protection. We request study of your vessel and your decision-making processes. Morales exchanged glances with her crew. Meaning, Ravi read the implications immediately. They think we're an anomaly. Jax chuckled. Heh, they're not wrong. Morales replied, We agree to communication, but not assimilation. The Cellari did not laugh. Resistance noted. We shall calculate your utility. The channel closed. Silence settled on the bridge. Heavy but alive. Jax finally said, Well, we've made friends. And enemies, Ravi added. Maya let out a breath and smiled, but we're still here. Morales straightened in her chair. The chaos outside had slowed, but not ended. 2 alien civilizations now watched their every move. Humanity had stumbled, accidentally, into a war millions of years old. And Earth had arrived, vastly outmatched, but not yet defeated. Crew, Morales said, steady once more. Prepare for diplomatic contact. Carefully. Jax cracked his knuckles. And if that fails? Her answer was calm, collected, and very human. Then we improvise. The vagabond turned slowly toward the waiting stars. The Varadi ship Rindakar loomed ahead, a steel predator observing its prey. The ISS Vagabond followed under escort, its crew painfully aware that they were still very much in crossfire, only now as curiosities rather than targets. Captain Lena Morales kept her posture composed as she opened the comm channel. Her voice carried practiced diplomacy, but her eyes scanned every flicker on the display. We appreciate the ceasefire, Admiral Tyrak. Our intention remains peaceful exploration. The Varadi Admiral appeared on the screen, towering, a reptilian visage marked with ritual scars. Peace, Tyrak said, as if sampling the word, is a luxury of the powerful. You have none, yet you ventured into battle, as though daring the void itself. We recognize bravery, even in frail species. Behind Morales, Jax whispered, I think he just calls adorable. Maya elbowed him. Show some respect. He probably eats respect. Tyrak continued, Your crew intrigues us. We offer conditional neutrality. In exchange, we observe your species. Morales replied evenly, Observation is acceptable. Experimentation is not. Tyrak gave a faint, humorless smile. A bold distinction. The transmission ended, but tension lingered like static. Once alone on the bridge, Dr. Ravi Sani exhaled. I'm drafting a list of things I miss about Earth. So far it's oxygen levels, pizza, and not getting analyzed by lizard generals. Make room for fresh air and bad reality shows, Jax added. Morales paced thoughtfully. The Varadi valued strength and bold action. The Cellari, caution and precision. Both seemed convinced humans possessed something worth using. Yet neither understood humanity at all. That misunderstanding might be their only advantage. Maya stood at the viewport, studying the Varadi cruisers with fascination. They're not just warriors. Look at their ship architecture. Purposeful, elegant. They've fought for centuries, but they still build with pride. Jack shrugged. Makes good target practice. Ravi glanced over. Your solution to everything is target practice. And it works, Jack said. Until it doesn't. Then I improvise. Morales stopped pacing. We need to understand them before they understand us. I'll arrange diplomatic observation, minimal information exchange. Maya, prepare a cultural package. Ravi, secure tech. I don't want them learning more than we learn. Copy that, Ravi said. I'll make our systems look more fragile than they are. That shouldn't be hard, Jax muttered. Hours later, the Cellari contacted them. Their ship approached with pristine symmetry, a gleaming vessel shaped like a blade. The Cellari admiral was a calm figure with silver eyes, speaking in precise tones. Human vessel. Efficiency analysis in progress. Your rapid adaptability is anomalous. We request data. Morales resisted visibly tense shoulders. We can provide limited cultural exchange. Accepted, the admiral said. Begin transmission. Maya's package, art, music, language, was sent. A minute later, Celaricom returned. Your species exhibits creativity beyond logic. Unstructured yet effective. Analysis inconclusive. That's the point, Maya said softly. The Cellari continued. We cannot quantify your tactics. This may make you strategic. Jax grinned. I told you creativity pays off. Ravi shook his head. I doubt they see it as a compliment. Morales leaned forward. Strategic in what way? The answer arrived with clinical certainty. Both the Cellari and Varadi predict increased conflict. Your unpredictability may alter outcomes. Your presence introduces unstable variables. This makes humanity valuable. Silence followed. Not comforting silence. Strategic silence. Morales finally replied. We won't be tools for war. The admiral simply nodded. That choice may not be yours. Transmission ended. Ravi rubbed his temples. We're turning into galactic bargaining chips. Not chips, Jack said. Poker wild cards. Morales frowned. I don't play games when the stakes are survival. Maya hesitated. Maybe we should. Strategically. They all turned to her. She continued cautiously. We can't outgun these civilizations, but we can confuse them. Make ourselves too complicated to exploit. Too useful to attack. Ravi considered. Controlled unpredictability. That might work. Jack smirked. Finally, a plan in my language. Morales thought for a long moment before nodding. We don't pick sides. Not yet. If we become indispensable, they'll protect us just to keep us out of their enemies' hands. Ravi said, that buys time, but only if we can keep them guessing. Maya stepped to her console. I'll prepare a second cultural packet. More abstract. Poetry, visual metaphors, philosophical paradoxes. Jax rolled his eyes. Yeah, that'll really scare them. It might, Ravi said. Think about it. They're used to logic, consistency. If we overload their expectations, maybe that buys us breathing room. Morales gave the order. Do it. The packet was sent. The Cellari response came within seconds. Further analysis required. Human culture defies linear interpretation. Moments later, the Vorati contacted them. Tyrak appeared on screen again. Your poetry is nonsense, yet it carries challenge. You wish to prove strength through spirit. Maya blinked. That wasn't quite the goal. It will suffice, Tyrak replied. Other factions now question your allegiance. You are becoming influential. Influential how? Morales asked. Tyrak's eyes narrowed. Enough that the next conflict will begin with the question, who will claim humanity first? The transmission ended. Morales stood silent. Ravi finally spoke. I think we just became the most dangerous species in the galaxy without firing a single shot. Jax grinned slightly. I don't hate that. Maya felt a tremor of fear and a spark of possibility. So, what do we do now? Morales straightened, resolve settling over her like armor. Now, we make sure Earth stays in control of its own future. Outside the viewport, distant fleets repositioned, no longer ignoring them, but watching. Humanity was no longer an accident in this war. They were now a factor. The ISS Vagabond had moved from interesting anomaly to galactic tipping point. Every transmission they received now opened with the same unsettling question: which side will humanity choose? Captain Morales knew the answer had to be neither, but choosing neither in a galaxy built on allegiance could be suicide. Inside the briefing room, dim lights illuminated tense faces. Morales stood at the head of the table, posture perfectly straight, voice calm but sharpened. We're done reacting. We need a strategy, one that keeps humanity free and alive. Ravi glanced at the data projections hovering above the table. Variety battalions massed across 3 star systems. Cellari fleets prepared countermeasures with the precision of surgeons. Both factions waited to see where the humans would point. They're building their next move around us, Ravi said. If they can predict our decision, we become tools. If they can't, we become threats. Maya leaned forward. Or something else. Something neither of them has a word for yet. Jax raised a brow. Mysterious poetry again? Strategic ambiguity, Maya replied. It worked on Earth. Why not here? Morales considered that. Ambiguity buys time, but only if we act decisively when it matters. We need something more. Ravi hesitated, then spoke. There may be a way. The Vorati value strength. The Cellari value efficiency. Humanity can't beat either of them at their own game, but maybe we can turn their strengths into weaknesses. Morales nodded. A third option, one they don't expect. Jack smirked. Now we're talking. The plan began forming, an operation built on surprise psychology and improvised technology. Morales would request simultaneous negotiations with both factions at once. Ravi would modify the Vagabond systems to manipulate electromagnetic interference. Maya would prepare a presentation to suggest cultural alliance. And Jax, well, Jax would do what he always did, improvise chaos. The Vorati responded first, sending Admiral Tyrak to their ship aboard an armored shuttle. The Cellari arrived minutes later, represented by Analyst Prime Celia, joining via HoloLink. 2 opposing powers now stare across Morales' table, close enough to speak, but too proud to acknowledge each other. Morales began carefully. We have considered your offers. Humanity will not choose sides in your war. The silence that followed felt heavy enough to pull stars out of orbit. Celia spoke first. Your neutrality will cause instability. Tyrak growled. Indecision is weakness. We will not respect it. Maya's voice entered before tension boiled over. Not indecision. Strategy. She projected human art, historical battles, philosophical quotes, emotional tactics, symbolism, fear, inspiration, unity, concepts of Vorati understood instinctively, and the Cellari struggled to quantify. This, Maya said, is humanity's battlefield, not territory, not conquest, ideas. Celia studied the display. Inefficient. Maybe, Maya said, but effective. Tyrak's eyes were fixed on a projection of an Earth painting. A lone soldier standing on a shattered battlefield. Your people fight with spirit. Morales nodded. We improvise. We adapt. And we survive. At that cue, Ravi subtly activated the sensor jammers. Electromagnetic effects split across frequencies only alien systems used. Both delegations' instruments began returning scrambled data, each believing the other was responsible. Jack stepped in smoothly, voice theatrical. You see? We humans call this mistrust. It ruins cooperation, unless someone bridges the gap. Morales saw it working. Vorati pride clashed with Cellari logic. Data turned suspect. Accusations glimmered at the edges. Exactly as planned. Celia frowned. This conflict grows wasteful. Perhaps collaboration would. Tyrak slammed his gauntlet fist on the table. Vorati do not collaborate. But humans do, Morales said. We propose a third option. A temporary coalition. One with no allegiance except survival. Let us mediate. You both benefit. Celia answered. This is unorthodox. Tyrak studied Morales. Unlikely, yet interesting. For a fleeting moment, hope flickered. Then everything unraveled. A sudden explosion rocked the ship, Alarms blared. Lights flickered. The Vorati delegate reached for his weapon. Celia's hologram rippled with static. Ravi shouted over the chaos. "It's not an attack." The jamming triggered resonance. "Our systems are destabilizing." Morales reacted instantly. "Ravi, stabilize power. Jax, get Tyrak to safety." "What about Celia?" Maya asked. Morales answered without hesitation. "We save everyone." Ravi sprinted to engineering, swearing in 3 languages. Jax guided Tyrak down the corridor, half escort, half bodyguard. Maya remained on comms, tried to retain contact with Celia's fading hologram. Morales ran to auxiliary power, manually rerouting energy through systems not designed to share it. The ship groaned under the strain. Panels sparked. Every alarm screamed. And through the chaos, everyone worked. Tyrak helped brace a damaged bulkhead without being asked. Celia remotely guided Maya through real-time calculations. Ravi improvised a coolant purge with oxygen recyclers. Jax, after slipping twice and swearing loudly, found emergency stabilizers and kicked them into place. Minutes stretched like hours. Then silence. The vagabond held together. Tyrak wiped stray ash from his armor and muttered, "Human craft is delicate, but refuses to die. Admirable." Celia's hologram stabilized. "Your methods defy logic, but logic alone would not have survived this event." Morales gathered the crew once more in the briefing room. She looked at Tyrak, then Celia. "Do you understand now? Humanity doesn't choose sides. We build them." Maya added gently, "We don't want to be a weapon. We want to be a reason to stop fighting." The Vorati and Celari exchanged a long, reluctant silence. Then Tyrak nodded once. "Your strategy has merit." Celia added, "Your unpredictability disrupts conflict. This could be advantageous." Morales allowed herself the smallest smile. "Then let's buy each other time." Jax grinned. "And maybe not blow anything up for a few days." Ravi raised a mug of lukewarm coffee. "To control chaos." As the 2 alien representatives departed, Maya lingered beside the viewport, eyes bright with cautious hope. "Do you think we changed anything today?" Morales stood beside her. "I think we proved something." "What?" "That in a galaxy full of armies," Morales said softly, "sometimes a wild card win." The stars outside felt less distant now, but far more dangerous. The temporary alliance between Vorati and Celari was forged within wire and cautious nods. It wasn't trust, but it was a start. The ISS Vagabond, though battered, had become an unlikely diplomatic flagship. Yet peace never arrives alone. It always brings something darker trailing behind it. Ravi noticed it first. "Someone's scanning us," he said, eyes narrowing at his console. "Not Vorati. Not Celari. The signature doesn't match anything in the archives." Morales leaned over his shoulder. The readings were too clean, too precise. "Passive or probing?" "Both," Ravi said, "like it already knows us." Before a response could form, every monitor on the bridge flickered. The screens dissolved into cascading symbols, mathematical, elegant, alien. Then a voice emerged. No face, no body, just a calm resonance that echoed across every speaker. "We are the Kelrak Collective. We observe disruption. We have come to remove it." Morales stepped forward. "This is Captain Morales of Earth. State your intentions clearly. We have calculated the probability of galactic collapse due to your unpredictable presence. Outcome, unacceptable. Solution, extermination." Jax gave a humorless chuckle. Finally, someone who skips the small talk. Maya stared at the symbols on the screen. "They don't operate like the others. No emotion, no hesitation. They're clinical." Ravi added quietly, "A hive intelligence. Their calculations adapt faster than we can plan." Morales straightened. "Which means we don't play their game." Moments later, the Vorati cruiser and Celari vessel hailed them simultaneously. Both had detected the new arrival, and both sounded unervingly alarmed. Admiral Tyrak appeared first, voice grim. "The Kelrath eradicated 3 warrior civilizations centuries ago. They do not threaten. They purge. Celia followed. They see conflict as inefficiency and sentience as disposable if it destabilizes their ideal state. Morales glanced at her crew. She saw fatigue, fear, and something more valuable: determination. Humans might not have the strongest ships or the fastest technology, but they had something Kelrath mathematics could never calculate: motive. Morales ordered, "We fight this together. Ravi, can we disrupt their scans?" With enough improvisation, he said, "Already moving. And duct tape." "Duct tape?" Celia asked, confused. "It fixes everything," Jack said seriously. Maya lowered her gaze to the symbols streaming across the screens. She recognized patterns, too perfect to be artistic, yet arranged like structured language. "They don't see us as threats," she said. "They see us as errors. Data they want to delete." Morales nodded. "Then we stop being deletable." The Orca protocol was born, not fully planned, hardly tested, dangerously reliant on instinct. Ravi used hybrid Virati Solari components to overload sensor arrays. Maya crafted code deliberately flawed, full of metaphor and contradiction. Jax launched decoy drones in erratic patterns designed to sabotage predictive algorithms. Morales coordinated with Tyrak and Celia, forging a united front. The Kelrath arrived, silent, symmetrical vessels appearing like reflections of one another. They moved with eerie precision, executing maneuvers no biological pilot could replicate. Their voice returned, unwavering. "Your unity is temporary. Your resistance is illogical." Morales replied, "Good thing we don't always use logic." The battle began with nothing but static. Kelrath jammers had weapon signatures entirely. Then their ships fired beams of pure energy, slicing through space with surgical precision. Solari formations held, barely. Virati charged headlong into danger, almost recklessly, but it bought time. The Vagabond danced between barges, guided by Jax's furious instincts. Ravi shouted over the alarms. "They're adapting too quickly. I can't stay ahead of the calculations." "Don't!" Morales yelled back. "Give them something they can't calculate." That was all Maya needed. She injected her chaotic code into the Vagabond signal array and broadcast it wide across every channel. Not commands, not data. Poetry, fragmented phrases, human metaphors, emotional contradictions, lines written not to be understood, but to be felt. The Kelrath responded instantly. "Your transmission is corrupt. Clarify message." Maya whispered, "That is the message." Jack slammed a maneuver that nearly broke the ship. Ravi's console lit with warning lights. But something changed. The Kelrath ships hesitated. Not long, but long enough. "They're losing predictive cohesion." Ravi shouted. The code disrupted processing. Morales seized the moment. All ships counterattack. Now! Virati weapons thundered. Solari precision strikes hit, exposed systems. The Vagabond launched its final gambit. An electromagnetic torpedo Ravi built from emergency batteries and faith. The Kelrath fleet wavered. Their coordination fractured. Their voice returned. Human illogic, irregular, cannot optimize. Morales spoke through every open channel. Her voice carried the weight of the moment and the spark of something greater. "Logic builds civilizations," she said, "but heart decides their future." There was silence. Then, "We will observe." Analysis incomplete. The Kelrath vanished into fold space, not defeated, but uncertain. For the first time in their existence, they didn't have an answer. The battle ended. Tyrak contacted them immediately. "Virati do not offer respect lightly, but you have earned it today." Celia added, "Your unpredictability may be the rarest form of strategy." Jax leaned back with a grin. "So what you're both saying is, humans are terrifying." Ravi sighed. "At least now the galaxy knows what duct tape and poetry can do." Morales looked at her tired but unbroken crew. "We didn't win today because we were stronger. We won because we refused to fit the pattern." Maya watched the stars beyond the viewport, vast, mysterious, and suddenly full of possibility. "Do you think the Kelrath will come back?" Morales answered quietly, "Yes, And when they do, they'll know the truth. What truth? Maya asked. That humans, Morales said, are never finished learning.